And they're off. Boy, that thing's loud. It sounds like a fighter jet taking off. I'm going to run it all the way up to the operating altitude of 385 feet. Okay, there's 370. That's close enough for now. I'm going to fly down there and see if I can get there from here. There is the backbone expansion. We're going to try to fly a mapping mission from 1.7 miles away. I have, again, a beyond visual line of sight waiver that's good until the end of 2029 that allows me up to 2 miles away from where I am. Right now, the ironic thing about that BVLOS is in order to exercise it fully, I need this drone, and this drone is visible to almost 2 miles away. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's so big that you can actually see it. We're coming up on 1 mile right now, and I still have a perfect view of it. Like it's a dot, but I can see it. Now we're going to start looking for where we're going here. I'll do it with the camera. There's the area we're going to map. This is the backbone expansion, and we're currently 1.3 miles out. 100%. We haven't even lost a bar on the controller. This is a heck of a machine, I'll tell you. And now we're over the area we're mapping, and we still have 3 bars, full bars. I'm going to go ahead and fly this mission and see what happens. Maybe expansion all. We're right in the middle of it, right over top of it. Let me get rid of this. Actually fly to the start point manually. So this is going to last, according to this, it's going to last 43 minutes, which means one of the things that might be kind of a pain in the butt is I'm going to have to bring it back for a battery swap, and it's 1.5 miles away. That's going to take a minute. See what happens. Okay. Actually going to get in here where I can see the area pretty clearly. I'm just going to sit in here and let it do its thing. What are we seeing? 35 miles an hour, 32. It doesn't like that. Well, the first thing you do is you have to maintain operational awareness of the airspace, make sure nothing comes into it. So I spend a lot of time with my head out of the cockpit, as they used to say, not looking at the controller. Basically what I normally do, and I think I can do it here, I just put the controller down here so I can see it, but what I'm paying attention to is out here. Now I can see the drone, but only barely. We are 1.3 miles away, which is well within my waiver limits, so I don't have to see it legally, but I like to keep my eye on it. I can actually see it down there, but just barely. It's just a little black dot, and it comes and goes. But what I can see is I can completely see the airspace. I have, from this location, I have over 180 degrees visibility into what's going on in the airspace. So that's what and then I listen for things like this. We're right on the edge. It's showing 36 to 37 miles an hour. And the 35 is the limit for this thing. Or not the limit, but it's the threshold where it starts to warn you. Now I've flown it. I've actually had it up in 40 mile an hour winds, and it does okay. It's not the, it's not the most stable thing. The gimbal stability is not the problem. It's the aircraft that jumps around a little bit. If you go to the FPV, I'll do it here, and I'm recording the screen. You can actually see that we're basically flying at an angle. Those winds are prevailing. They're from one direction, so the drone kind of flies at an angle constantly, and the gimbal keeps the photography part stable. And we're not flying very fast. We're flying horizontally at 27 miles an hour, and that's not very fast. We're getting some really good static pictures. I'm watching the stereo cameras, and it looks really good from up here. So we're not having any trouble capturing anything. What I am going to look at here real quick. Yeah, we're fine. We've got 1/500th of a second shutter. One of the things you're able to do here is very similar to the P1, is you can set shutter priority or aperture priority depending on the conditions. What I typically do when it's getting darker or when there's a lot of overcast is I'll set the shutter priority up. And what the camera will do in order to keep the exposure values to 0, which is where the exposure needs to be, it will either lower the f-stop, it'll open the camera as far as it can. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't, or it'll increase the ISO number on the sensor, which makes the sensor more sensitive to light. It makes it a little grainier. I'm not exactly sure of the exact mechanism it uses to do this because it's a digital sensor, but back in the day, ISO/ASA, depending on whether you're talking about someone from Europe or someone from the United States, was basically grain size of the film emulsion and the chemistry associated with it. So you've got a silver halide compound on the film, and the sensitivity of that silver halide, of the sensitivity of the film when coated with that stuff, depended on the size of the grains of the silver halide material that was coating the substrate of the film. What they do digitally, I'm not sure. I could look it up and find out, but analogously to the film's grain size, they set the ISO rating here so that the sensor is more sensitive to light, but you lose some clarity. It's more, I think what they do, this is a guess, this is a total guess, and we can look it up later. Intuitively, I think what they probably do is use more than one CCD pixel thing for collection, and so they're additive, but that's a guess. We'll have to look that up and put it in the subtitles. In any case, whenever things are jumping around quite a bit or it's dark, I want the highest shutter speed that I can get. And one of the things, again, that you can do on this camera and the P1 is you can set priority for shutter priority. You can set the shutter speed and everything else will change in order to keep the exposure straight. You can also set the exposure of the f-stop, and everything will modify itself to be there, or you can go totally manual, which means you set the f-stop and you set the shutter speed and you hope for the best. I wouldn't do that, not when I don't have the camera in my hand, because I'm not able to see what's going on. So in any case, right now we're flying under auto, and we're getting a shutter speed of 1/640th with an f-stop of 2.8 and ISO rating of 140. And that's a perfect exposure according to the light sensors in this thing, and I don't have any reason to doubt that. They look really clear. I'm looking at the images that it's capturing. Now we're 15%. We've got 37 minutes left from a 43-minute. So I guess we're about 10 minutes in, and we are getting buffeted around here pretty good with the wind. If I get too many gusts like that, I'm probably gonna call it a day till tomorrow. I'm not real sure. I'm feeling some pretty heavy gusts now that we're up here. The drone's not experiencing it right this second. Like I said, the drone's 1.5 miles away now. It's down over the area, and it's experiencing 33, 34, 35, 36. Yeah, so it's pretty windy. We've got a high wind velocity warning again. It's not worth, It's not really worth risking things like this for long periods of time. I was hoping beyond hope it might settle down, but I think what I'm going to do is abort this and come back, because we're getting real close to 40 miles an hour, and that's a little fast for this thing. That's a little too much wind. No, I bring it down now. When I see these warnings like this and they continue, it's probably not a good idea to stay down there, especially when we're so far away. So I'm going to abort this. We're going to go down. I think we're probably still going to be able to get the stuff we're looking for. Maybe not. Yeah, we're doing 37, 38 now consistently, so we're going to pause this. I'm going to put it on sport mode because we're definitely up high enough. Set the gimbal back and find the home spot and fly to it. There we are right there. And I'm gonna come down a little bit in altitude too. I'm gonna drop altitude. Get out of some of that high wind. You see it jumping around. That's because the wind right now is at 37 miles an hour, 36. So I'm trying to I'm coming in a little slower than I normally would. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to use the automation and let it come back manually. It's going to come back at 330 feet. Let it come back. Yeah, we're just getting too much. At 330 feet above the ground, we're getting 26 miles an hour. And we were just that extra 50 feet, we were getting another 20. Now look at it. It's really jumping around out there. Yeah, so we need to bring it back. And it's coming. It's taking its good sweet time about it, but it's coming. It's just a little too rough up there today. What's going to be really interesting is when I do get it back here, I'm going to have to land it in this. And that's going to be a lot of fun. About 2,700 feet away right now. I'm actually going to take over the flight. I don't want to fly just for safety's sake. I don't want to fly over these panels unless I have to. I'm going to get out from behind them. God forbid if something does happen to the drone, I don't want it landing on these panels. Let it land in the woods. There we go. That's better. Now at the same time though, I do want to get it back as soon as I can. So I'm going to try to track up this road here. The reason I'm tracking up the road, it should be fairly obvious. I'm going to drop the altitude way down too. Try to get out of some of this stuff. Yeah, let me just drop it pretty far. The reason I'm flying over the road is probably so obvious you don't think about it. I don't want to have to traipse through the trees and the brush to get the thing if it does fall. I just want to go down the road, drive the car right to it and pick it up, what's left of it. Alright, so we're coming up the supply road right now, and we're off to the side of the panels. We're not over anything. I can actually look down. Let me see. That's behind. Here we go. Do that. Yeah, see, I'm right over the road. So let's bring it up. Now we're down at 65 feet above takeoff point, and the winds are 20 miles an hour. That's much better. But up there at altitude, it's way too windy to try to do this today. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come back tomorrow. Hopefully this wind has died down. tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day up here. I've already checked the weather. Yeah, now we're coming in at 65 feet. I can hear him. There he is, just hanging right off the side there. So I'll bring him in very carefully. Bring him back to the launch point. Try to keep off of the panels as much as I can. Well, I'm totally off the panels. Now we have a lull in the action, so I'm really going to try to bring him down quick. And there we go. Crisis avoided. Yep, it's just too windy to be at altitude with this thing today. I don't even know if I should mention this. I guess you can edit it out. But right now, on that thing right now is about $50,000 worth of payloads. That's an $18,000 payload. It's a $12,000 drone and a $2,000 battery. So add that up. I don't want that going down on the road, you know, or in the woods or anywhere else.